Well, let's jump to this big news. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a historic day today.
Oh, boy.
The latest Quinnipiac poll came out showing Joe Biden's approval rating is at 31%. Woo. When you add this to the latest aggregate numbers, Joe Biden's approval rating right now in the Real Clear Politics average is 36.8. Add in the 31% and it drops down to 36.2. It is a historic day because Donald Trump's lowest point was 37.1. That's right. Joe Biden, or is it 30? It's 37.0. Sorry. I thought it was 0.1. 37 is the lowest point. Joe Biden's approval rating right now in aggregate, all of the polls combined, is lower than the lowest point Trump ever experienced in his presidency. This means, objectively, historical record, Joe Biden is, to the American people, a worse president than Trump.
Wow.
Now, I think the thing about Trump is, I actually think Trump was one of the best presidents we've had. You look at the economic indicators in 2018, when Democrats won a bunch of seats, really great economy. Jim Cramer, of all people, best numbers of our lives. A lot of good things from Donald Trump. Now you can talk about decorum, fine. Joe Biden across the board, inability to speak, no decorum. Sniffing children, no decorum. I will take Trump being a potty mouth and I'll say, yeah. But then Joe Biden sniffs kids. Yeah. Then he destroys the economy. He presides over one of the worst economies in the history of this country. Record inflation, record soaring gas prices. It's just food shortages are coming. War in Eastern Europe. The surrender of Afghanistan. No question. Even with Donald Trump, according to Pew, only receiving around 5% positive coverage, he still is now objectively has polled better than Biden did.
Ooh. Isn't that something?
Biden's got to go.
Unreal.
He's
He's got
to be impeached.
He does. He needs to be impeached.
Do you think you'll be able to impeach him when you guys win in November?
I think it's unforgivable to not impeach him. That's how I feel. And I think the American people feel this way. And I think it's so I believe in accountability. I think if someone is doing a bad job or they're intentionally doing a bad job or they're not fit for the job, you have to fire them and you have to replace them with someone that can do a better job. And right now we are in a crisis.
And I'm going to go off because they impeached Trump twice. And what did Trump do for us? The Abraham Accords, historic, amazing. Peace in the Middle East coming. What did he do in
peace in the whole world?
He met with Kim Jong-un.
Yep.
And he was mocked for it. And he entered enemy territory with no security detail. One of the most tremendous things I've seen a president do in my lifetime. And with having family going back to I believe my great grandfather was I think it was my great grandfather. Yeah, actually was from the north. Wow. There was no north at the time. So the country splits. And I actually got to go and visit Seoul and see learn, try and see where my family come from. What cities are they from? Having a family that came from outside of the U.S., it's a really interesting thing. Then I hear Donald Trump. He's like, I want peace. I want to end this conflict. I'm like, how amazing would that be? Incredible. And he crosses the DMZ, walks into enemy territory. After all the threats and all the fear and all the saber rattling, they could have just taken him right there and held him hostage. They could have done anything. And they didn't. They didn't do it. Trump was tremendously brave for doing that. Trump had done such great things on foreign policy. He was getting our troops out of the Middle East. He was setting a timeline for getting out of Afghanistan. Joe Biden screwed that up. They impeached him twice. And he did some of the greatest things I've ever seen as someone who is just livid over the lies of Obama and his foreign policy to see the tremendous foreign policy of Donald Trump.
That's right.
The domestic policy was incredible as well, bringing back manufacturing. It was a great economy. But, I can admit it. I didn't like the way his attitude, but that didn't matter in the long run.
Yep.
School choice, opposing critical race theory and government contracting, good foreign policy. This is a guy who needed another term, and he needs another one now.
I thought the worst thing that was going to happen to me was becoming pals with Marjorie. The worst thing is Tim making me like Trump for 5 minutes.
Look, I think
that North Korea stuff. I've never heard phrase like that, and I was like, that's kind of badass.
It is, and I was so angry when they were like, he's ponying up to dictators, and I'm like,
that's what I heard.
They could have killed him.
Yeah.
He went there, and have you seen the videos of the North Korean soldiers trying to steal the South Korean soldiers?
Yeah.
Or the people trying to flee North Korea getting shot and killed by the North Korean soldiers?
That's right.
And Donald Trump was like, let me walk in here.
Yeah, dude. Dennis Rodman at least looks like he can take them physically. Trump couldn't even run away if they wanted to do something for him.
I almost cried when I saw him do that.
It was amazing.
I was just thinking to myself, like, an American president foregoing security standing next to enemy soldiers. We are still at war. The war never ended. And I was just like, wow, man.
Yo, someone
It
tweet me
was
that
incredible.
YouTube video and then also put like the 24 theme song over it, and I'll watch that tonight.
It's a meme. They did the meme.
They did?
Kim Jong-un has a skateboard because
Yeah.
he's like gesturing to Trump.
Are you serious?
Uh-huh.
This is great.
It's really
You know-
You know, he also moved the American embassy to Jerusalem.
Yeah.
I thought that was incredible. I really did. It was incredible. He pulled us out of that Iran deal, which the Biden administration is trying to get back into it right now. It's like it's really Obama's third term, right? It's Obama's third term.
Yeah.
And Joe Biden has no idea it's going on.
The Abraham Accords, that planes would be flying from Israel over Islamic countries, that commerce would start. And what I heard from the former anti-war left, supposedly the current one, is they go, yeah, well, everyone knows they're all secretly working together anyway. And I was like, are you kidding? You couldn't fly from one country to the other. You couldn't enter one country if you had a stamp from Israel. Now you can.
Now you can. That's right. It's
And
incredible.
I'm just, Donald Trump tried getting our troops out of, I think Syria and the officials lied about how many troops were in there because the war machine will not even listen to the president. And what happens when Biden gets in? He botches and surrenders Afghanistan, burns everything to the ground.
Let me tell you something, Tim. This is why they hate President Trump. Because he wasn't controlled by the State Department.
And why is it that Vladimir Putin didn't invade Ukraine? Why the conflict had simmered down under Donald Trump? It's because Donald Trump was actually lowering tensions globally. It's remarkable to think
He
about.
created relationships with people like Vladimir Putin, with Kim Jong-un. He created relationships, and that created peace.
But they want the war.
They love the war.
The military-industrial complex, they can't have Donald Trump.
I've been voting no on this garbage ever since it started. No, they want it. And I've been amazed. I'm shocked by it.
Remember when
It's not saving anyone's life. It's killing more people.
Trump fired 59 Tomahawk missiles into Syria? I get mad. A bunch of the populist right people are like, what is he doing? And then the media's like, is this Trump's truly presidential moment?
Yeah.
That's how they see the world, isn't it?
Well, it's something to behold, but what's happening in Ukraine should severely concern everyone. It really should, and I'll tell you why. We don't belong there. We're neglecting our own border. We're neglecting our own people. Our economy's falling apart. Inflation's out of control. Democrats are literally destroying energy, fossil fuel industries. They want to completely wipe them out, and it will kill people. We have become a great nation based on fossil fuels. We have air conditioning. We have heat in the wintertime.
Don't you use air conditioning against me?
Oh, yeah, I know.
I love it so much.
I do too. I love air conditioning and refrigerators. We can store food. I mean, these are all amazing things, and it became possible through fossil fuel energies. But the Democrats want to take it away because they're saying that carbon is the problem.
Well, I think there has to be a middle ground, right? Because you've said we've gotten a lot from fossil fuels, and just like you were talking about, abortion became legal in the 1970s. It's like, okay, so some things from the past are also bad, right? Like we also used to have slaves. We also used to not have polio vaccines. We also used to look like cast members of the Oregon Trail. But I think acknowledging that it's like, yeah, some stuff we use in excess is hurting the environment. What is that? How can we come up with alternatives for that while also not going the complete lefty route of like throw it all out? You know what I mean?
Let it be market driven. And here's the thing. So we can't rely on wind turbines right now. That remember they froze in Texas, and now
I was in that storm, by the way.
Oh wow!
I lived in Austin for like 3 weeks, and I was like, Texas is great. And then suddenly you had to like Sophie's
because
Choice,
he was
which
in Austin.
like that's what it was, 100%. I was like, this isn't what everyone's talking about. It's just a bunch of hipsters and Joe Rogan. It was wonderful, and breakfast tacos. And then within 3 weeks that storm happened, and you suddenly have to like, I was like dumping chlorine pool water into the back of my toilet so I could like attempt to flush it, and none of us had, like, it was crazy.
So that's a failure. We can't rely on that energy. It's it's not there yet, and I'm not a fan of those things. I think they're gigantic and ugly. And then we have solar panels overheating right now. They can't provide enough electricity, and we have China and other countries moving back to coal.
So what do you do
real
with...
quick? We do have a bit of a breaking story that I want to get to in a second, but I still want to ask one quick question before we move on. Is who do you think for 2024? You think? I mean, obviously Trump's running.
President Trump's running. He's running.
So you're Trump.
He just
100%.
hasn't said it yet. Well, we just talked about all the great reasons to have him as president, right?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, foreign policy has always been one of the biggest issues for me. That we have to. The sacrifice of Americans, of the bravest American men and women for corporate BS.
Look at where we are right now, especially in the world. Where we are right now, we're in a dangerous place. We are actively fighting a proxy war with a nuclear country, Russia. That is dangerous.
I'm curious on your thoughts on DeSantis, because he's the name that's popped up.
I think DeSantis is fantastic. I really do. But I'm a little selfish. I would love to have President Trump for 4 years, and then I want DeSantis for 8.
What about Trump?
So I want 12.
What about Trump DeSantis for 4 years, and then DeSantis for 8 years?
They can't, though, right? Because they're from the same state. And a president and a vice
Really?
president. Yep.
Yeah.
President and vice president cannot be from the same state.
You and your conspiracies.
I know.
If Trump changed his
I didn't know that either.
state of
New Jersey.
residency.
So if he moved his
If he went back
residence to
to New
New
York.
Jersey.
He's in New Jersey right now, isn't he?
Yeah.
What if he
He'd have to change
says,
his
"I'm a
residency."
resident of New
Yeah.
Jersey now"?
Then
What if that's why
perhaps
he's
it could
doing
happen.
it? They said, aren't they doing construction on Mar-a-Lago or something?
Oh, I don't know.
What a convenient story. You know something. You had this look on your face.
Lock the doors. Lock the doors.
No, I'm just enjoying listening to you guys. I think we're going to see a lot of people run. You're going to see, oh my goodness, we've got Nikki Haley, probably Mike Pence. Who else is going to run? Kristi Noem, maybe.
Oh wow, good.
Yeah,
great.
there's going to be
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of people running. And then obviously on the Democrat ticket, there's going to be a lot of people running too.
Yeah, but no one with
They're all
any.
terrible.
I can't wait for
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom. It's going to be so much
Oh,
fun.
he's the worst. Do
You wanna
Democrats
know?
like him?
No.
No, right? He's awful.
Let me tell you the dark horse, and I don't think he's running, but it would make it hard for Republicans. But they hate him. They would never do it. Is Joe Manchin? If Joe Manchin,
We
Oh,
do
wow.
hate him.
think about that.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Come hang out live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Super Chat will even answer some of your questions. If you want to check out the After Hours Censored Show, go to timcast.com and become a member. We put those up Monday through Thursday at 11 p.m. They're very funny, not very family friendly. We'll love to see you there. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.